Hey guys, Erin Holt here, functional nutritionist and yoga teacher. Today I'm going to show you 2 different exercises that you can do to break up tension in your abdomen. We carry a lot of tension here. Part of it is because we spend most of our time in this position, and that can create tight hip flexors, that can create tension throughout the entire belly and down into the pelvis. So doing some stretching and some heart opening helps to reverse that. Going to yoga is great, but today we're actually going to get into the nitty gritty and do some psoas release. Psoas is one of your main hip flexors, so it's responsible for lifting your leg. It's a pretty big, beefy muscle. It starts in your back, it comes through, sort of intermingles with your digestive organs, and then it inserts itself onto each hip. So it's a big muscle that starts as one, and then it branches off into 2 spots. And the interesting thing is that the psoas can get pretty jacked up for 2 different reasons. One is being in a seated position most of the day. That muscle can start to get short. And then 2, if you're under stress, the psoas gets really tense because it's literally responsible for lifting your leg to prepare you to take off. So it's activated during that fight or flight response. So we're dealing with short, tight muscles. And the second thing we're going to do today is to get into that psoas muscle and to do some trigger point work on it to break up any tension and hopefully release. So first things first, we need 2 props. We need a yoga block. If you don't have a yoga block, you can use something similar in size, but they're pretty inexpensive to get, so you could go ahead and get yourself one. And then this is a soft ball. It could be like a Pilates ball, a yoga ball. I actually got this at a kid's toy store, and I'll link to one that you can grab on Amazon. But you want it to be soft, so I don't really want you to use a tennis ball or a lacrosse ball or something really hard, like a soccer ball. That would just be too tense. Like, see how much give this has? You want it to be nice and soft and squishy. So we'll actually start with this. I'm gonna put it down on the floor, and I want you to lay down, bring your belly right onto the ball. So it's gonna be an extreme close-up here. So I'm putting the ball right underneath my belly, and then I'm gonna move around. This can get pretty intense, and if you didn't think you had tension in your abdomen, try this, it'll prove you wrong. Start up on your forearms like this, so you can take a little bit of the weight off, and then start to roll around. You want the ball underneath the rib cage, and you can roll it all the way down right to the hips and the pelvis, like right between those 2 bony protrusions. So move this around. If you notice there's a really tight spot, you can hang out there for a little bit. If you're not feeling much of anything, you can intensify it by dropping all the way down onto your forearms and lowering your head down onto your forearms. One thing I should have said at the beginning, you don't want to do this if you have a full belly of food or liquid, because it's going to feel pretty uncomfortable. For those of you guys with chronic constipation, moving things around down here and massaging, bringing blood flow to this area can really be helpful to help move things along. And even though it feels pretty intense, you can start to notice relief pretty quickly. It's just breaking up any fascia, any adhesions throughout the abdomen. So that's something to try. You can do that every day. Next thing we're gonna do is go right into the psoas muscle and try to break up some tension there. So with your yoga block, come all the way down onto your back with the knees bent. Lift your hips up like you're coming into bridge pose, and put the block right underneath your low back, your sacrum. So you should feel pretty stable there. Keep your right knee bent and straighten your left leg, but bring the foot all the way down to the floor. So left heel's resting on the floor, right knee is bent, and you're gonna work on the bent knee side. So take your 2 hands, bring one to your hip bone, that bony protrusion right there. Take your second one to your belly button, and then slide your hands together where they meet in the middle. So the halfway point between your hip and your belly button. And then start to push down pretty hard and move your finger move your finger around until you find a big, beefy, tight muscle. You'll know when you get there. Your digestive things are here, your intestines are here, so you want to be mindful as you work around. But find the tense, super tense, hard spot, that's your psoas muscle, and press down right on it. It takes up to 90 seconds for trigger point release, so you might need to hold it for that long. You might breathe through it Make sure you don't hold your breath through this. And then you can start to work your finger around close by and notice any other tight spots, and just give yourself a massage, holding down on the tense area for as long as you can handle, breathing in and breathing out. Ideally, you hold it down until you feel that release. And then you can switch sides and do the same thing on the other side. And then come up. And it might feel really good to do a little bit of a bridge pose to stretch out the front of the belly, or to do some heart opening exercises, just stretching through the abdomen. And I hope that you find that helpful. Bye.